Okay, I think my audio's looking good. Alrighty, seems like the stream is looking good. Hey again, everybody, welcome to another Project Grand Vault game development stream. Sorry for the absence. Sort of got tied up with some tasks regarding the shopping system, which we're gonna sort of showcase in our Project Grand Vault development update video for this week, which will be coming out later today. So if you're watching this anytime, after this stream has come out, that should be available for you. Anyways, today let me switch over my views here. Hopefully the music isn't too loud. Let me know if you guys can't hear me. Right, so right here, just in Havenlock City right now, I was just setting up some customizable roofs for these house variations, which are pretty cool, controlling it by a vector. But that's not really what I want to get into today. I wanted to build out what I've sort of, I took the liberty of calling it like a transitional room for the ruins. So it's not quite a room in itself, but I'll just head over to the development room so I don't muck up my city while I build out these features. So inside the ruin levels, typically they would be spaces that would be connected. So ruins, excuse me, are spaces that would be connected with either hallways or basically there are two types of zones, hallways and rooms, and they'd be connected by these transitional corridors, which is sort of what I want to properly build out today. Currently, we have a pretty basic version of this. Where's my player start? Right. So we have this kind of basic doorway. You can come up to it, and the idea is that it would open and you could pass through to the other side. It's an older version. Here's the more scaled and functional one. And you can see that, it has a little bit of thickness and it would divide different rooms for the player. So that you could, come through and then, go to the other room. But we need a little bit more padding, and I want it to be a bit more sort of automatic, similar to Legend of Zelda, where you would, interact with the door and then you would pass through it. And I have sort of like a base version of this I built for a different area. Everything's been sort of teaching me how to do something else in a weird way. So here is not quite what I was looking for. Oh, I see. I see. So as some of you my guys might have recalled, I mentioned that I had some computer troubles and I put together a new computer, and some files have not been. A few files were lost, nothing critical, but that base version of this Ruined Doors was lost. It was sort of, it would have provided a pretty good starting ground, but I will just build that out now instead. So, let's get to it. So Ruined Doors base, I'm going to duplicate this and work from here. Ruined Doors base 2. That is what I will call it. And okay. Let's drag this out here. This is what we'll be working with. So I'll create a little bit of space here because this it's gonna get bigger. Considerably. I'm gonna open this up here, and I'll bring this over so we can build out the functionality we're after. Just to review, we have our on begin play. We create a reference, or we cast to our character. This actually should already be done. So we shouldn't really have any issues here. We'll definitely improve on this. I'm just reacclimating myself with what I built. It won't open without a key to unlock it. Let's just key check functionality for locked doors. So I want to convert this into like a modular asset that you can have children for and create instances of. I think it'll be a very powerful tool going forward because it'll also include the ability to have locks and key and work functionally with rune keys and things like that. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to pull up a reference actor real quick. I'll just demonstrate it for you guys. As a base, we want to look at something like one of our stores here. You can see here the store actor has a camera component included, and when we interact with it, we switch to that camera location, and then we have the functionality that is native to that actor. And we want to have a similar approach here. So I'm actually going to pull not that out because that's a child. I'll pull this junk shop parent, and I'll have this open as a reference for me with regards to the camera setup and the structure here. But I'll move this over to my other monitor. That way, it doesn't really obstruct the viewing experience for you guys. I should probably pop out my chat, so ignore comments. I don't want to be that kind of guy. Okay. Sorry for the delay, guys. Just optimizing my screen space here. Okay. This should be adequate. Okay, inside of here, this is functionality for locked doors. We check if it is locked or unlocked. That's fine. Has a lock. If 0 sets visible. Let's take a look at the state I left. I built this in originally. It has some has lock, and yeah, we can basically designate what level of lock this uses. No lock, level 1, or level 2. Kind of small, but we'll build this out so it's modular and more powerful. The first thing I'm going to do to this component is add a camera to it. It's going to be a little complex compared to the shop, but I'll still use the same sort of logic and tools. Okay, there's our camera. Let's reorient it. Let's zero it out. Well, maybe not completely. Want to make sure we're facing forward here. Okay. Alrighty. Let's enter this. Okay, that should be centered on the x-axis, and take a look at the preview here. Let's try and make it so everything is within view. Yeah, something like this should be, I think that should be good. Be a little higher. Okay, well for now, oh geez, okay, there we go. For now that should be adequate. I'm gonna come through here. Basically, if there's if the door's locked, it becomes sort of like a dialogue-based interaction if you want to use your key or whatever. If it's not locked, we basically unfreeze our character, play the gate open sound effects, which are fine. Proximity trigger and overlap. We might have to remove this. I'm going to call this door a timeline. Well, that's an awkward. And if we look through here, this whole thing is labeled as we have door left, door right. We have ruin, lock front and back. And you have the entirety of it, which is interesting. Just thinking on how to organize this. We're going to have two sets of doors and potentially two cameras. Okay, let's see here. I want to select this in the content browser and add a new static mesh for the door frame. And we're going to parent our door left and right to it. We're going to call this door A. And we have our group mesh. There we go. So this here is going to have to be something else. Could be a custom mesh. It'll definitely have to be a custom mesh, depending on the ruin that you're in. I mean, all of these will be. Just in terms of sizing it out, we may need to hop over to, let's see here. Let's go to environments, ruins, dungeon, Havenlock ruins, and scenes. I'll take a look inside of here. In the meantime, I'm going to, I'm considering it's just a floor mesh. I believe Unreal has a default floor mesh we can use. A whole bunch of different pieces here for the rooms. It's a pretty complex scene. Just gonna open up my layer view here. I have a hunch that this actually might have been somewhere else. Let's do an export corridor. Oh, we do have it all here. Okay. My mistake. Let's try to build these out in a new scene, just for the sake of simplicity, or keeping things more streamlined. Let's see here. We definitely don't want that mesh. I'm going to head over to the runes and grab floor plane A, and we're going to just bring that here. This will be the core of our room, and we're going to have door A and door B sort of attached to it. Let's duplicate this and just call it door B. Definitely it's a more unique actor than the previous. We have our attention box, and we have our proximity trigger, which we may not need anymore. I'm going to just drop that down here temporarily. Or you know what? Let's move it upwards. And I'm just going to expand this out. Yeah, sort of like this. Let's just see to what degree the functionality is maintained. Oh, it's a lock door, of course. Let's just turn that lock off. The proximity trigger's up there, and that's what triggers the door to close normally. Okay. So right off the bat, once we know that the gate's not locked, we need to, actually, I'm going to ignore this unfreeze function and see how that, interesting. This unfreeze function calls this up here, which basically enables our movement, I believe. Without it, we cannot move. I guess just because by default interactions lock your character's player input. So we'll make use of this again later, just not right now. What I do want to do is build a new event, and we're going to call it, custom events. Let's see here. Transition camera. I'm just working with a new playlist. I haven't really listened to it all, so some are hit and miss. Hopefully it's better, and hopefully YouTube doesn't have any issues with it. Okay, so our new event here, transition camera. We're gonna need 2 of these, and you'll see why. But this is gonna be the transition camera reset. Okay. We're gonna use a do once for this, and this is gonna reset that. The other thing is you have to make sure these doors work from both sides. So I think we're going to need 2 sets of cameras. Okay. I guess we'll duplicate that now. Let's go to our viewport here. You know what we won't worry about? Camera B. Camera underscore A. Okay, I'll move camera B to the opposite side. And switch this around here. Yeah, approximately perfect. Yeah, the mesh is a little weird up here, but you wouldn't really see that anyways. That would be occluded by the level geometry. We're going to need 2 collision boxes also, so we know which door is opening and closing. Sorry about that. Let's just work on our camera function here first. So set that up to work on a flip-flop. And what we're going to do is set view target with blend. That's what I want to do. Set view target. It's actually a function that I stumbled upon just exploring for a way to do this, and I happened to find it. Let's see if we can make it work this way. So we'll get the owner of the camera, and now we'll set view target with blend. Oh, you know what? I think you need a player controller. Set view target with blend. Perfect. This is what we wanted. And oh, I had to set this up anyways. But the target, the new view for the target for the set view target with blend is our player controller. The new view target is the camera A. Assuming we're using camera A, right? So we'll probably need a branch here and make it a bit more complex, or perhaps maybe we should use numbers instead of A and B. We'll use camera 0 and camera 1, and I'm a big fan of switch on integers, so that'll be a bit more clear cut as to what's happening. Get rid of our default pin And we'll just switch to camera 0. We could use a select node here and select on integer, but I like using the switch because then we can debug with the execution pins. I mean, it makes for a larger graph, but still, it's 2 ways to the same destination. Here's our target, and we'll use camera 1, which is this, right? Cool. And I'll copy this down here, try and get that same result. Okay, after this, let's just add a switch camera. Make a bit more space, which we're definitely going to need. Move this over. Or perhaps we can just move this over. Seeing as how it's not part of our instruction, our main instruction execution. Okay, we have cast 2. Our character here, we don't really need a cast to our character. We should have that set up on the parent class, PGV main character reference. And we should just have to get HUD reference. We want to play an animation from here. And the animation we want to play is the out animation. And I think these both would execute. No matter which door you're coming from, I want that HUD to animate out for the transition. And you probably could also just play the reverse of this from we add our HUD back in. Place animate HUD in. Animation HUD out. Pretty straightforward. And from here, just looking at my reference, the shop uses a blur widget afterwards, but we don't really need to blur, because we definitely aren't trying to obscure the gameplay right now. Let's see here. This should cause our camera 2 transition. I'm going to set that now. We also have a view time that we should be able to set. Right now it's 0, so it should instantly snap to our cameras. But let's call that right now. Oops. Transition camera. That's what it's called. Transition camera. There we go. So let's pass this through here, and then we go to our door open. So it definitely works. Our camera transitions instantly. We could create a subtle blend, something really quick. Maybe like a 0.1 might look good. We can play with that as we go forward. Okay, so after this, the doors open. So this is camera 1. We want this to be door_1. Door_. Oh shoot! This is camera 1. Oh, no, it's camera 0. Okay. Door_0. And we call this door_1, which is totally fine. So normally these interactions use a parent object, like an inherited transition box, but each door probably needs its own. Well, you know what? Actually, should be fine. It should be fine. Let's pull this in here, and I'll make use of our second one. We're gonna call this trigger_1. I do engine box 1. Keep the names consistent wherever possible. And I want this to just sit in here. And tighten that up a little bit. We're going to add some doors into that eventually. Okay. So, let's see. So this is the proximity attention box 1. We can sort of simply, I don't think we need to cast to this. Like I mentioned, we've sort of improved our actors over the last week to, like, the parent classes should have all the references we need, so we can just inherit those. And just sort of pass this through here. And, you know, we can eliminate those unnecessary casts. Is character near? We set that to true. The other thing we have to set is, well, it's for our camera transition. We need a new integer. So we call this doorway active. Oh, that's too long. We'll call it door active. Let's put a little tooltip for myself. Flags whether door 0 or door 1 is currently being focused. And what I want to do here is set this to 1. If we look at the viewport, we can see we have this. I think I should make this a better color so we can identify it. We have a. I don't think I helped that at all. Anyways, we have this attention box 1. We want to make sure that that's flagged for camera 1. If you're approaching this way, this is the camera we should use, basically. I don't think I'll need a print screen for it. Let's just go through here. You know what, I forgot to... Oh, no, I didn't. It's actually fine. Go try this from the other side. Oh, we're not getting anything. So... check out the debug view on this. Let's drag this over to my other monitor. So it's definitely working. Just gonna have to cross-reference with the interact parent. This is the parent class for many of our interactable objects. Just want to make sure everything is being replicated on the child, because the child has that secondary proximity box. So let's move this off to my other monitor. Hey Julio, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in. If you could, let me know how my audio is. Let's see here. So we have a proximity trigger overlap. This might be why. So on our main character reference, we're not using the capsule component. We're actually looking for the interact focus box. And we're looking at that against the other components, so that's correct. Little bit of details we have to include, or let's stretch this out a little bit. That might be a bit excessive for what I need. But we have to include actually, you know what, guys? I'm going to... Oh, perfect. Audio's great. Fantastic. No issues with the new computer. Wonderful. I've almost forgotten what the crashes look like. Almost. Okay, so on the parent, I'm going to add a new feature to it. Something I think will be useful for these instances where actors have, where we add in a sort of proximity focus, a second one. I'm going to add two custom events. Enable signifier. And we're going to pass this right through here. I want to have another one. UE4 file checkout. Wonderful. Gonna have to check that out at a later time. We're gonna pass this through here. And we're gonna call this... It's all my shops, all the downtown shopping alley shops need to get checked out. Disable signifier. Okay, let's compile these. Okay. That compiled fine. Let's save here. Let's see here. Back on the child actor here. What I was thinking of is that if you pass these checks, we can then call our enable signifier. And that would call on the parent, as we can see here. We would need... here's end overlap. So, just for consistency, let's move that over. And we're going to close this actually. When the... let's move this over. I'm going to set the same instruction over on this side. Because again, we don't need that unnecessary cast. I want to use a character focus box and just pass that through as is. And if it's open, we'll keep that for now. I won't destroy it. But we want to call it disable signifier event. And then now I won't have to have all the instructions for the animations and everything on the child class. Alright, so side 0 works, side 1 works just the same, except, there's no door to actually obstruct us. But that's pretty cool. Working well, working well. What are these errors? Camera boom on the animation blueprint. So I just shove this out over there a little bit. Okay, so from here, now that we've got the signifier working along with, so both sides can basically fire off the event, and we have our which door is active, and we switch to the appropriate camera, which is cool. In terms of animating HUD in and out, they both should work. This might be... no, we're going to definitely use this just after everything is done. So let's think about this. First thing we do is we open the door, and then we have to move our character through it. And let's see here, the easiest, well, maybe not the easiest, but a simple way to grab a location could be to, well, this is honestly what I like to do. I like to use arrows. I think they are ideal. You have your arrow in the space, and you can actually use it to get forward rotation and things like that. Now, we won't actually need to use that right here. Let's put this dead center. In terms of height, I don't know if that's okay. We'll see. But, like I was saying, we have our central location defined, and we can use this point to sort of just find a corridor center. And from here, we have our timeline, which we don't really need. We're going to need a few timelines, though, I think. A few different ones. Because we need to move our character to that location. Basically, once that's done, switch on timeline direction. Let's see this. Input string. Just want to make sure this is going to work for me. Let's call this execute run. Whoops, did not want to simulate. Let's play. So, Yeah, okay, execute run will work from here. Operate door 0. We'll make sure it works one way first, and then we'll sort of reverse engineer the opposite direction with some copies and pastes. How are we gonna do this? I'm just trying to remember how, not so much how am I gonna do it, but how did I do it last time? On the file that was lost during the switch between computers. I believe we grabbed our character mesh. So, set world location. Something like this. So we grabbed our character. Oh wait, not that at all. We want to get PGV main ref and set its world location. Will I just plug in right here? Probably not. Set actor location. I think we want the world location, I believe. Do we need rotation? I don't think so. We may need it. Just see location for now. The location I want to test with is the corridor center. Get location and plug that in right here. And let's just delay. A slight delay. And I'll see where we end up. Should teleport forward into that arrow's location. It worked fairly well, actually. Better than I thought it would. So now we can drive this with a lerp using a timeline, just like before. We can lerp vectors, and well, what we want to do is get location. Oh, sorry, get actor location. If you don't specify actor, I think Unreal believes you're intending to reference a component of this actor. So something like this should be good. And then we want to lerp with the alpha with a timeline. And we'll call this run timeline. And let's make a float track. 2 points. We need a value of 1. The length, that's a good question. Maybe 2 seconds. We'll see how that goes. And 0, 0. Let's view everything. And I don't think we want to ease these curves either. might look weird because I think the animation will kind of be driven like a start-stop. It won't blend. So let's see here. Okay, and the actual length of the timeline, we want 2 seconds. And that way it'll actually finish where we want it to. It won't keep on running. If you don't specify that, you'll actually have your finished events get called based on that end time of the track. So it's definitely important to have that in place. Execute run. Well, we know that's working. We can get rid of that for now. I'll keep it handy because I'm going to use print strings to verify other things along the way. Basically, we should just update it sort of like this. We can rename this to run driver. That is sort of a descriptive title. Let's see how this plays now. Well, he definitely teleports. And he's using the wrong camera, strangely. Store active is 0. On 0 by default. We flag this through here. This says to 1 once we overlap with attention box 1. This might not be the best way to set it up. We'll have to verify later. Not quite what not quite what I'm looking for here. So why is that? Yeah, we have our green and blue on that side. In the viewport, camera 0 is facing there, so it must be an issue with this. I also realized we're going to need a few more arrows to build this out. We're going to need 3 locations, 3 arrows rather. We're going to need our center. Just duplicate this a few more times. So this is our exit, our, excuse me, okay, our door 0 location. I think I'll call it an arrow. And the green color actually works quite well for that. Over here we're going to have the same, might as well just make it blue for the sake of it. So we have them different, we know which one is which, and call this door _1 arrow. Yeah. Something sort of like that. Now let's, whoops, did not mean to open up my help browser. I might as well make these a bit brighter. Make them easier to identify. Center, we'll just put red. But still at a loss as to why this. Okay, so now it should work with camera 1. Or sorry, camera 0. Okay, that's working better. And our default value is 0, and wow. But why? Yeah, so that works fine. This is for locked doors. What else is causing it to? We disconnected this. I don't know. If we force it at 0, what happens? Okay, somewhere. Find references. We have a set, just one set and one get. I can't determine why. There must be something happening with the overlaps. One is causing both to fire, something like that. I'm gonna have to verify this against that debug string. If I keep it like this, I should be able to see what's going on. So, preview and selected viewports. Let's see. So this is side. Okay. My other monitor I can see on the parent. This is firing properly. If we go to the other side. Should be working as it should. Gotta identify the problem though. Kinda critical for this all to work. Let's see. Going to do the switch on integer thing again. Make it easier to debug. Let's drop that down here. Get rid of our default pin. Add 2. This is the target. And what I also want is a print string. There it is. We'll grab this. And I just want to find out what that is. Yeah, make it a pink so it stands out. So definitely strange. It's reading as 0, so the code is working correctly. The integer is anyways. But for a very bizarre reason, it forces this. Almost as if it really wants to use that camera for some reason. Let's check our settings. But I believe I copied and pasted this in. Shouldn't really have any issues. I mean, it should have the same settings. This is so weird. Sorry for the long stretches of silence. Just trying to wrap my head around as to why this is being the way it is. Um, hmm. Just deal with our one camera for now. Don't know why we're having issues. is. Okay, so before we open the door, and basically immediately once we transition the camera, we need to do something here first. I guess we'll figure out that camera issue later. I spent enough time trying to figure it out now. Maybe it'll reveal itself. What we want to do first is grab our door 1 location and sort of just do this. We just want to set our location to that locator. That's why we made those arrows in the first place. So, set something up like this. Teleports to proper door orientation. And you know what? We probably want to use not even set location, but set actor transform. Get world transform. Because we want that location or the orientation to, you know, maybe you want to use the store, you come in at an angle, you want to make sure you're facing the right way for the scene that follows, if you will. So teleports to proper door orientation, that's fine. Operate door 0. We'll keep these together because I believe what will happen is we'll have a branch that if you're using door 1 or 0 door 1, you would branch top or bottom and execute the chain. You operate door 0 after the door. Oh, so after we reach that location. So yeah, finished. After we reach the location, we want to close this door. So sort of play from reverse from end. Make a custom, and then call it close door 0. And just reverse that. Yeah, that's what we're going to do at the end. Close door 0. Let's see how that works. Make sure our orientation is correct. We actually might want a slight delay. 22, I believe, is the default. And we will... Or maybe it's a bit long of a delay. So we could bump for corner center. Oh, I see. I see. It's probably important to specify that. On backwards, we play the sound, and then we turn these open to false. Move character to center corridor. Should work fine. What I think has to happen next is to set an animation. Can we play, or can we get mesh? Can get that mesh. Perfect. And can we play an animation? That's weird. Excuse me, I feel as though we should have to specify animation, not just play. Animation. Play animation, that's probably better. Looping. So, everything that's available. Basically we would need to specify is we've got to select. And on the character reference we can say active character. And based on who's active, we'll select the appropriate animation. So nothing really fancy happening here. For advanced, we would hit, I think it could be his run animation. Run cycle, that's for Maya. For advanced, we have anim run. And for Maya, we would also have the run. I believe those are correct. And we probably want to set that up first. That way they can begin running and then start moving. Wire's getting a little messy. I'll clean it up after. So, oh yeah, we're running. 2 seconds would be a little long, or a little quick. Try 3. And set this to 3. See how that feels. Okay, so that does not seem to be affecting the actual transition at all. So fast. Blowing my mind here. Ignore time dilation. We're not using any time dilation. Autoplay. Are we not using the right input? Play from start, maybe? On finished, we close door, which just reverses this. And plays a sound effect once it's done. That timeline's behaving extremely weird. This is interesting. I've never actually used an event track. To do some research. That might be very useful for future tasks or making things more effective that we already have. Anyhow, yeah, let's call this driver, whatever. Add a key. Yeah, simple 0, 0. Length is 1 second. Now when it's finished, we want to close the door. Plays running animation. You know what? I need to set it to a variable. That's why it's not working. Actor location. I can call this PGV underscore P underscore location. Set that as a vector used for looping in locations. Make it descriptive. Okay. Well, we should use this. But, you know, once we set the transform, we should get active location. Set that up right. Then I operate the door and lerp from that location. I have a hunch that as we move forward, it continually updates and that location is no longer relative. I think those two locations need to be fixed. Sort of like this. Or the two fixed locations, whereas that one would always be changing as it updates. And I think that's what's causing it to behave so strangely. Yeah, much better. First thing we gotta do once we get there is stop playing animations on here. And the weird thing is you have to drag forward. Stop animation. Stop animation montage. Components, animation, stop. Yeah, that should be fine. Let's compile and test that out. That's so weird. He just freezes. So we're playing animation. Can we stop animation from the mesh? Stop. Yeah, override animation data, play. You know, I think we could just use a play animation and leave it empty. I believe that should work. It should default back to the idle. Okay, not exactly what I thought would happen. Let's just test our animation blueprint. It's so bizarre. I mean, we definitely need our idle, just in between, but not exactly certain. Maybe confident's a better word. We're still gonna have to fix this issue later. We want to regain control. Yeah, looping is fine. Actually, out of curiosity, if we set this to just for now, we have to specify which character. But if we use Vance run and set it to non-looping, we'll just stop. I can't see though. Let's try this now. This is interesting. Dance. We'll set that to looping as well. Then I'll close those doors. Let's see, plays idle animation. Just set this up here. I just want to set up, excuse me, I just want to begin setting up the custom flags for the different effects that the child classes will be able to use, just so I don't miss them later. Oh geez, how do I get this one now? Okay, that works. Yep, that sound effect is custom. Okay, plays animation, goes through the door. And then we call this closed door, which comes through here. And then after that closes, play a sound effect. We call this is open. But we have to call another event from here. And that is going to be an event where we... I don't know if we need a second camera or... I could use a second camera. It wouldn't be bad. Let me think about this for a moment. We have camera 0, 1, or sorry, 0A and 0B, and 1A and 1B. I think we'll run into more issues if we have like animations between the camera locations. I want to say it's probably better to just have more cameras. Underscore 0. And now we've added a second camera to the actor. Let's see if there are issues. If that issue begins to reveal itself again. Where we're selecting cameras that we should not have been. Also, this event here is going to be treated differently. For the shop, it makes perfect sense to do it this way. Not so much when it comes to this. Okay, let's see. You can probably use the same switch. And let's grab the reference as well. And we should be able to use this to call another custom event. Transition camera 040B. Get that player controller. And we're going to want to transition it to this. Whoops, we have to get owner and plug that in. This is the player controller reference. Oops. Okay. And oh yeah, most importantly, let's just transition cameras with you. And immediately we teleport to that camera. So that is an issue. That is an issue that needs to get corrected. Oh, hey guys, my bad, I missed all your comments. I feel so terrible just dealing with these programming issues. To answer your questions, will the game be free to play or pay to play? No, it's not going to be free to play. We're playing to, you know, it'll be like, it wouldn't be a fully priced title, of course, right? It'll be priced kind of like a normal indie game would be. But it's definitely a game that's sort of harkening back to the more old school kind of flavor, and I think even making it a free to play game would lessen that. And thanks for the kind comments. Anywho, need to see this. I actually wanted to do some googling as to why I'm limited in terms of my actors and cameras. Yeah. That might have something to do with it. Let's try that again. Well, not even close. Okay, let's keep those on. Interesting. Interesting. I wonder if we should just have everything inactive, or turn the auto activate off, and then activate them manually in the blueprint graph, sort of before we get to them. Yeah. So for the time being, let's just 0. Sort of like this. So well, we have our camera here. Let's activate. Let's hook this up like this and see where we get. Activate and deactivate. So, yeah, that's right. Okay. This will work. I guess this is how it has to work. Sets cameras. Phase 2, I guess. And our phase 2 camera is here. Okay. So let's now okay. This is your left door. So this door left _1. Whoops, that doesn't make any sense. Door _1R. Okay, and I'm gonna duplicate these locks. I mean, would a door ever need to be locked from two sides? Maybe. If we set it up this way now, it actually makes things a little bit easier going forward. Don't have to worry about orienting doors the right way. Just set them in place, and if they have locks, they'll work. So we'll duplicate these two as well. And they are going to need to go on to door 1 left. And these are hidden in game. Anyways, door 1R, let's slide this over. Both of these. Yep, pretty much like that. Ruin lock, D1 front, ruin lock, D1 back. And on the construction script, we can let's just throw these in here. Missed one, okay. That should be better. So now if we hop over here and we set has locks. Cool. Let's make these bigger, they're so small. Like why? Can't increase them by like 2? 1.5 would be better. Yeah, it's so much better. You can see they're locked. Okay. Okay, from the event graph, we call this to execute our phase 2 camera blend. And then a similar thing is going to have to happen with our doors and such. This is going to be operate door 1. And customer will say close door 0, 1. Perfect. These relative locations should be fine. One. Custom event, so let's call this fix 2. And that'll be called from here. So the execution pins are going to get a little weird once you enable it to work both ways. A lot of crisscrossing between these two paths. But these should open. We'll make sure we flag this as open as well. Okay. Shoot. Locked it. Let's turn off those locks. Get back in there. I feel like a goof. Obviously that won't work. The timeline is separate, but we're still using those same two doors. What we want to do is replace those with, you know, door 1 left and door 2 right. Where did they go? Oh jeez. I know where they went. They went to the other doors. They moved forward. Okay, so we have these locations here. So the starting locations . We can probably adjust this to there. That should be fine. And we're going to want to make sure it stays on the same y-axis. And for door right, we can do the same. That seems weird. Okay, let's try that again. So, beautiful. Beautiful. And sort of like a repeat. After that finishes, we come through here and we begin playing this running animation again. Yeah, you could make this a macro or collapse it, but maybe you could macro it. Just don't know if I'm... Let's make sure this works first. Let's just duplicate it. Alright, play the running animation, and then we move our character. Perfect, okay. Set PGV main, and we don't want corridor center. We actually want to move this location to the opposite side. So it's actually door 1, because we're going to the other side. Excuse me. Let's see here. We need to reset this variable for this to work. And it gets set before we open the door. So probably over here. Let's just grab this whole thing. And actor location. Yeah, I should be able to use our center. That should be okay. And location. And pass that through here. Yeah, let's check all these out. Whole bunch of shop actors getting updated for that functionality, but some of them needed to use it. To be honest, they were replicating code where we could have just referenced it on the parent. So, in order for that level to work, they check out everything and make sure it's up to the current revision, which is fine. So right here, I am looking for what? After that finishes, when we get to the center, we close the door behind us. So once it's finished, we close door 1. And these all have to be set up on branches, depending which direction we're going through. But that door closes, and then That's better. Jeez. What is the next step for us? Close that door, plays a sound effect. I think a custom event. Return to character. So, not the best name. Probably will change that as I go ahead and clean this up a bit. We want to call this return to character. And what I want to do here is duplicate this, I guess, and we want to get player controller. And the new view target is not going to be that at all. We want player, not player controller. From the Project Grand Guide main reference, we want to get our follow camera and make that our new target. Basically return functionality back to our player character because they should be on the opposite side of our gateway. And from here, we should probably end interaction. Will that work? I think so. Let's try it out. Yeah, that's the only issue we have left here. Gotta reset our animations. Which is what happens here. We should duplicate this. Let's close door one, come back through here. Now I don't necessarily want to mess around with that. Rather, I want to use animation blueprint. I think by calling set animation mode, I think the animation will stop. That actually might not be the case at all. Stop animation. We'll try it like this first. See what our result is. Not ideal at all. My bad, guys. Hope that wasn't loud for you. It was pretty loud for me, but I am wearing headphones. Yeah, not closed door 0. We want to close door 1. And if we're moving to that location, we probably need to disable this. Set collision enabled to no collision. Actually, what I want to stop is to generate overlap events. We want the collision to be enabled. Generate overlap events. Set that to false. I believe that's what I want to be doing here. Beautiful. And we're on the other side of the room. And I think that's, let me just check my time here. Yeah, a little bit over time and a little bit of a rocky development process, but this is the rough cut of the, transitional room. As you can see, it doesn't work perfectly. It worked that one time perfectly and only in that one direction. But it works, well enough. It definitely has to get cleaned up, but it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, guys. I'm going to call it for today. Tomorrow we'll go ahead and clean this up, make it nice and pretty, and probably modular too. Thanks for watching, and again, we love all the support. We're actually so happy to have reached 200 subscribers. It's such a, I know it's small in terms of the normal YouTuber scale, but it's a big deal for us, and just want to let all you guys know that we appreciate your views and everything that comes with it. Yeah. Anyways, because I don't know how to exit a video, I will just end the stream now.